Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'll be looking at the general settings of the Valeton GP200. So first of all, we will click the gear icon, the spanner icon, sorry. So when you click the icon, the first screen that or the UI that you see is the general side. So we'll be looking at it into detail. So let's go to the input and output settings. So for the Valeton has three input modes. So one is the acoustic guitar, which is A guitar, A.GT, the E.GT, which is the electric guitar, and then we have the line. So of all the three options over here, the one with much more clarity and then one that wouldn't really require so much of a noise gate is the line. That's why I even use the line. But if I were to click the E guitar, when you try it at your end, you realize there's a lot of noise in there. So let me move this. Okay. So let me try and record the. So I'm using a clean channel right now. So with a clean tone, you wouldn't really hear the it that much. Let me choose an overdrive sound or so. Okay, well, this particular tone has a lot of noise gate in there, but sometimes with different settings you get to hear a lot of noise. So for me, the one that works for me is the line. It comes with less noise, and there are a few things that you can modify based on your experience with each of these. So ultimately, if you have a semi-acoustic that you connect to the Valeton, the best would be to use the A guitar, acoustic guitar, or the A.GT. If you have an electric like me and you prefer the E.GT, you can go ahead and use it. The line is for the likes of the bass, the keyboard. If you have a violin or any other instrument that you want, you can connect it and then select the line, and it will proportion itself in a very nice way for you to be able to use it for your needs. So the next is the input level. So with this, you can make it louder. You realize you hear a lot of noise now. You can also click to set the number over here and then hit enter to reset itself. So that is it. You can either decrease or increase, but just know if you are using an overdrive or heavy driven sound, you would have to modify your noise gate or increase it to be able to compensate for all the noise that comes with it. The no cap mode, we have the left and then the right. So you realize over here I'm using a custom IR, or let me say a custom cabinet. I think it's 2x12 cabinet. Yes, it's a 2x12 cabinet. This is based off Vox cabinet. So when I say the left side should go without a cabinet. So right now the left has been set to, that's the output mode. So the first was the inputs, the last two for this part is the output mode. So right now, if I say this left side shouldn't have like a cabinet, this is how it's going to sound like. It's quite loud. So that's like the dry signal without a cabinet in the left side. Same for the right side. But for my application, I don't need any of those. But supposing you were to be playing in a setting where you needed like one of the dry and then one of the uh, signal with the cabinet in there, you can do this particular setting either on the left side or on the right side. The next section is the USB settings. So we have the recording level. I'm using the USB to record what I'm playing through my DAW right now. That is what is here right now. So I can decrease this, and even though my volume is set to 100% on my guitar, you may not really hear it that much, but I just prefer it to be in the middle, which is the 0, so it balances between 0 decibels. So the volume that comes straight out of the guitar, it picks it just like that without adding or removing some. When you go to reduce it like this, it takes 18 decibels out of the actual signal. And then when you go to the right, it takes so it ranges between -20 and then +20. So the next side is the wet and then the dry. So the wet and the dry also works like the no cap or the cap mode. So let me choose both dry and see. It just takes the signal without adding any other extra effect on there. So the next side is the aux to USB. So supposing, let's say you have an audio playing through the aux port, you can also capture that using this particular toggle. By default it is on, so whatever that you play through the aux, it will also be recorded, that if you are recording like I am doing over here. So the next side is the monitoring. That's how loud or how low you want to hear your audio through the USB side. So it also ranges from -20 to +20. So by default it is 0, like this. It doesn't add or remove. It just takes the signal that comes and then shoot it into the DAW, or let me say into the monitoring, so that you can also hear how it's going to sound. The next side is the auto cap match, which is you can either turn it on or you can turn it off. So by default it is on, and when it is on it looks like this. When it is off, it looks like that. So with this what it helps us do. So right now, let me click on an amp. Supposing I wanted to use a Bogner Red V, you realize automatically it chooses a matching Bogner cabinet, which is this one. But if, let's say, I don't want that and I want to go with the angle amp, I can still click it and change it. So when it is on, it automatically matches the amp with a matching cabinet. When it is off, like this, and I choose an amp like Dr. Z, you realize the last cabinet that I chose was the angle cabinet, which is this. And even though I can decide to go with the Gildron amp, it still maintains the Eagle cabinet. So if you want it to automatically choose the cabinet for you without you necessarily having to spend so much time experimenting, trying this and trying that, just you can leave it on as it is by default. And now when I choose the Gildron amp, it will choose a matching cabinet that will help me get the best tone out of the amp that I'm going to use. So that's the auto cap match. The next part is the device display. So I'm going to show how it is on the screen. So the display mode is the how you want the tone or the patch to be shown on the screen on the board. So for me, throughout my experience, the signal chain mode is the one that I really like now. Initially, it was used to be Footswitch. So when you choose the Footswitch, this is how it looks like. When you choose the patch, this is how it looks like. When you choose the signal, this is how it also looks like. So with the signal, I get to see in real time on the screen, because usually the board is really low. Let me say I'm a tall person, so I might not necessarily see those little buttons that clearly. So I can hit this and then see it being changed. It looks almost like this particular side on the board. On the board. So I get to also have a feel of just that the names wouldn't be there. I also get to have a feel of, okay, when I turn this on, I'm also used to how the coloring of the sections in there. So the red is for the OD, red that looks like that. So it just arranges itself on the board, and I get to see and then try like a whole lot of things from the board. So this is just a very quick one to explain the general side. If you have any questions, leave it as a comment. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Thanks for watching. See you next time.